My boyfriend bragged about how much money he was making while living rent-free at my apartment, so I gave him an ultimatum. So my boyfriend quit his job 4 months ago to start his own startup and get his own clients. I was supportive of him and knew he could succeed if he did his best, but he also moved out of his apartment at the same time. He said he was moving into his mom's place and moved all his clothes there. Despite saying that, he hasn't spent a single night at her place in 4 months. Instead, he spends all of his time in my apartment, where I live alone and pay $1,700 as rent by myself. He tells me he's about to go to his mom's, so I would only buy food for one person, but then he eats all the food and never actually leaves. I've tried asking him about potentially helping out with the rent or groceries, but he always brushed me off. His main argument is that he doesn't technically live here since he never brought over his stuff and doesn't keep any clothes here. I told him that he's literally sleeping every night in this apartment, and that's when he called me out for not liking him enough, so I ended up backing off. I did really like him, but I never imagined that my first time ever living with my boyfriend would turn out like this. I pictured it as us splitting the bills and both growing as a couple. Last week it all hit me at once when my boyfriend started bragging. He was on the phone with someone and said it's been smooth sailing without a rent bill. His clients have been paying him a lot, and he loves how he can use all of that money for anything he wants rather than bills. Don't get me wrong, I'm proud that he's doing so well, but this conversation just rubbed me the wrong way. I asked him to hang up and then explained how what he just said was disrespectful to me because I've been telling him how I cannot afford enough groceries for the two of us. I told him that I was proud of him and would appreciate him helping me out. If he wouldn't do that, then I wanted him to leave and stop sleeping over at my place. He panicked when I said that and started apologizing, after which he promised that he would send me some money at the end of the week. I was impressed at how quickly he understood me and thanked him. Unfortunately, I was being way too gullible. About 8 days after that conversation, he still hadn't sent over any expenses, so I asked him, and he told me he had run into some problems, so I would have to wait. He sounded apologetic, but I knew I had to put my foot down, so I asked to see his recent purchases. To my surprise, he just got up and started putting his shoes on. He told me he was going to a dinner party with clients, and that he didn't have time to talk to me. I asked who would be paying, and he literally went, "It's my clients, so obviously I would be treating them." I don't know why, but something in me snapped. For months I had been struggling with my finances and asking him for help, but his reaction left me in shambles. Once I was done crying about how my relationship was essentially over, I called over my best friend and a locksmith. Since my boyfriend had violated the ultimatum, I was going to keep my word and kick him out. After the locks were changed and the door was bolted shut, I sent him a simple text message saying we were done, and that he wasn't welcome at my apartment anymore. To my absolute shock, he started crashing out. Apparently he had called his mother a B-word, which was the real reason why he couldn't stay at her place. And if I kicked him out, he wouldn't have anywhere to go for the night. My best friend was staying over that night for safety reasons, and she just burst out laughing when she read that text. We basically told him that since he was making so much money now, surely he could get a hotel. He replied with a sad apology and said that most of his money had gone back into his startup, so he didn't really have anything in his bank account. We sent a few laughing emojis and then we blocked him.